How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this one I am pinning Prismacolor against Crayola, trying to find out which one is better. I think I have an idea of which one it is, but we're going to try to find out if Prismacolor is worth the extra price or can Crayola hold its own. Here we go. Alright guys, so I have this sheet to help with the breakdown. We're going to kind of go over line work, saturation and filling, blending and shading, and then at the end we'll go through the cost and figure out, is it actually worth the high cost of a Prismacolor over a Crayola. Alright, so we're going to start with some line work first, just to kind of get a feel for how the pencils work. So we'll do yellow, orange, and deep red for the Prisma. We'll do the same thing for the Crayola. So, got matching colors here. You can see they're almost identical. So we'll see if we can tell the difference. Start with Prismacolor first. So we'll just start with the light, with the yellow. Do a couple lines, see if we can get an idea of how it looks. So you can see it's pretty nice and full. You can see this pretty clearly. Sorry if I shake the camera. Yeah. So one thing I like about Prismacolor is it's not difficult to get a nice, clean, saturated line. You don't have to press too hard. It's just very nice and waxy, so it comes off real smooth. So we'll do the same thing with the Crayola. So I'm pressing a little harder for sure. I want to get it as nice and saturated as possible. So it's definitely inconsistent. I can already feel it. It's really inconsistent. I can feel some rigidness in certain points, where it's smooth in some parts and then difficult to work with in others. So it's definitely already, I mean, the Crayolas, you have to press a little harder and it's very inconsistent. I don't know if you can see that it's kind of making indents in the paper because of how hard I have to press. But with the Prismacolor, I mean, you can see how much brighter, how much cleaner it is. How I mean, look at the color difference as well. The orange and red are different with the Crayolas, but not by much. So for the line work, I would say for now, the Prismacolor takes it, absolutely. That's an easy one. So Prismacolor takes the win on that one for sure. So now I'm going to kind of just fill in these squares. I'm going to do a dark one and a light one, starting with Prismacolor this time. And, oh wait, I did start with Prismacolor first last time. Fill in these squares, just see how well it fills it in, if you can still see paper underneath, or if I need to go over it multiple times, and just how nice it fills it in, how saturated it looks. So we'll start with light again, and I'm just going to kind of just fill it in. So that's just a once over. How about I'll do half, completely filling it in, and the other half I'll leave kind of sketchy. Oh, just a once over. You can get an idea of what going over it one time will look like. And then what a finished product can look like if you decide to go over it multiple times. Okay, not bad. I mean, like with any colored pencil, it's going to take a couple times going over it to get a nice clean fill. So we'll go over to the Crayola now. Crayola. I'm going to do the same thing, just kind of fill it. See, oh man, it's leaving. Like I said, I have to press a little harder, so it's leaving some deep imprints in the paper. So you can clearly see a difference between the two. The red didn't come out as deep as the Prismacolor did, the red Crayola. And then the yellow, I mean, you can see those indents in the paper. I had to press pretty hard, and actually I'd say almost as hard as the pressure I applied to the yellow with the Prismacolor, but the Prismacolor didn't leave the indents. And I just like how easy it is and how much nicer the color looks with the Prismacolors as opposed to the Crayola. I mean, oh, and I just noticed I accidentally did. This was supposed to be Prismacolor and Crayola. Prismacolor and Crayola. Oh well, doesn't matter. So, like I said, I really like how the Prismacolor came out, and it wasn't too difficult to completely fill. I mean, look how nice and smooth that fill is there. It's a lot cleaner than the Crayola fill. So, for this one, again, I'm going to have to go with the Prismacolors for sure. Okay, so this time we're going to do a little bit of a blend. So we're going to just blend from dark red through orange to yellow. We're doing Prismacolor first, so here we go. So it was pretty smooth. I had a pretty difficult time blending that orange and yellow. When you're using Prismacolors and you're going to switch from like an orange to a yellow, they make colors in between these two that make it easier to blend them, so you don't have to have such a drastic change in contrast or color. I got it to blend. It's not the smoothest, but I mean, you can see how nice and saturated that color is. So next we're going to do Crayola. We're going to do the same thing. So red first, and I'm gonna give it a fair deal. I'm gonna do it as smooth as possible. I mean, I am a fan of Prismacolors for sure. I do a lot of artwork, a lot of drawings, illustrations with Prismacolor, but I also have a long background, a long history with Crayola, so I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus. I want to actually see the difference between the two. So I'm having the same problems I had with the previous test, with this leaving indents in the paper. So that should do it. That's actually not bad. I like how the color looks here. It's nice and bright as opposed to but I did use a dark red for this, but that's a big change between colors right there. So not bad. Let me zoom in here a little bit. So you can see the difference. Actually, that's not a terrible blend at all. So it is possible. It is possible to get a nice clean blend, get a nice change in color with Crayolas. I'm actually surprised on how smooth of a transition that is. That's not bad at all. But Prismacolor is known. I didn't do an amazing job with this, but you can see how much smoother that transition is compared to like this area here, or even the break off between the red and the orange there. So Prismacolor is known for their blending capabilities. They are one of the best, next to like Faber or Copic makes some colored pencils. But Prismacolor is known for how smooth their transitions are for blending. So I don't know. I am a fan of Crayola too, but I'm gonna have to give it to Prismacolor for sure. So for my final test, I'm just gonna go ahead and shade in these circles and turn them into spheres by adding a little bit of shading. So similar to what we did up here with the blending challenge, I'm gonna just fill that in from red to orange to yellow. So here we go. This is Crayola, I just noticed. So we'll start with Crayola this time. So that was Crayola. And next we're going to do Prismacolor. Let me change these up. That's a C, and that is a P. All right, Prismacolor. Just double checking. Come on. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Okay, jeez. Alright. You good? So you can see a clear difference between the two. This one is the Crayola, and this one is the Prismacolor. So I'm actually really surprised on how well the Crayola did. It actually exceeded my expectations. It was not too difficult to blend. My main issue is the indents that it leaves when you fill things in. But other than that, I mean, the transitions in the blend is pretty smooth. I mean, it's still a pretty hard pencil, so it makes it tougher to get a nice smooth transition or blend. And then with the Prismacolor, I mean, you can see, like I said, this is what they're known for, the nice smooth transition. It's really nice and soft. That is one of the main differences with the two, is the Crayola is a hard pencil and the Prismacolor is a lot softer, so it is a lot easier for it to fill nice and smooth. The Crayola is a lot harder. You have to apply more pressure, use a lot more, but you can get good results with the Crayola. So you can see there's not a huge difference between the two. The main thing would be saturation and blending. Depending on what style you work with, that might not even affect you. But if you can't afford Prismacolors, you do not have to have them. Crayolas work just fine, and then once you maybe start selling your artwork or make a business out of it, you can afford them. They're not super expensive, so let's go over the cost right now. Alright, so to compare colors, both sets have a lot of different quantities or sets that you can buy. You probably know most of the Crayola, they have I think they come in 6 packs, 12 packs, 24, 50, and 100. For Prismacolor, I've got a couple here. This was the first one I ever had, a 24 pack. It has a lot of good colors. You really don't need much else if you're just starting. So I would highly recommend the 24 pack. And they have a 48 pack, a 72 pack, and then the 132. Move those out of the way. The 132 set. This is my baby right here. So this one has, I'm gonna flip it over, I guess. A lot of colors. It's every color you could possibly need. They have even bigger sets, but I don't see why you would need anything more than the 132. So they do come in a lot of sets, but anything that's even the 24 works just fine. You really don't need anything more than that, unless you are looking to be a professional artist, draw professionally. If your Instagram's blowing up and you need some good content, they might come in handy. But if you're drawing for fun, or if you're still in the early stages of learning to draw, the 24 pack works fine. For this little cost comparison, I'm gonna do the 48 pack, which is like the center of the road. It's a 50 pack for Crayola and a 48 pack for Prismacolor. Okay, so like I said, let's start with Prisma first. So Prismacolor comes in a set of 48, and that set is $28 even. And you can find that on Amazon. I'll actually put links to the stuff I use, or the Crayola, the cheapest Crayola that I can find on Amazon or wherever it is. I'll put links in the description. So 48 pencils for $28. While looking up a link for this, I also found a really good deal. It's the set of 48 pencils, but it also comes with a Prismacolor sharpener, a Scholar, which is Prismacolor's little mini brand, Scholar eraser. My pen is not working too well. And then 2 sketch pencils. Oh, and a coloring book. And you can get all of this for, what was it again? $33.99. So that's actually a really good deal. For just a couple extra bucks, you can get all that extra stuff. The sharpener on its own is probably like $5 or $6. The eraser, same thing, $3 or $4. The pencils, again, probably $3 to $5. And the coloring book could be, I mean, they're all probably about the same. So you're probably saving a good 20, 25 bucks with this set. It's a really good deal. And I'll link that. I'll link both of those, just the set on its own and the whole package there in the description. $48 for $28. When I buy a single Prismacolor, just one, at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, it is normally $217, but I've also seen them for $287, and that could be different where you are, but it's gonna be somewhere around there. And then if you get like a set of these, that comes out to, we'll say for a set one, what was it, 58 cents. So 58 cents for one. So it's definitely worth purchasing a set. It's a lot less expensive. It's definitely worth the cost. So a lot more expensive when you're buying a single. You know, a main reason that a lot of people buy the Prismacolors is they're known for their whites. So I've gone through a lot of white Prismacolors in my day, and this is maybe a quarter of the pencils that I've gone through. They work so well. Let me show you real quick. They work so well. It is unbelievable. When I found these, I was obsessed. So here is just a little doodle I made of the Fortnite llama, and you can see on this like journal cardboard backing, the white comes out super nice and bright. You know, the white is my favorite part of the set, and you can use it in so many different ways, but I absolutely love it. So you can see, I mean, I've gone through so many whites. Like I said, this is probably a quarter of the pencils that I've gone through, and this is exactly what I was saying. You can see the sticker from Hobby Lobby right there. So this one was $2.29, but I had to go get a single white because I was out, and I did the same thing with my black as well. So I had to go get a black because you are going to go through white and black a lot more than other colors, depending on what colors you work with. So I highly recommend the white. I mean, you can see here, I'll just put like a little line here. Like, look at how, just that quick little line, look how white that is. I love it. That is essential. Okay, so sorry, kind of got off course there. So next is Crayola, and like I said, they come in sets of, well, I'm comparing the set of 50, which is $11.59, and that is just the set. So if you break it down, they come out to 23 cents. So that's literally about half price. So altogether, it is about half price. Plus you get a couple extra. So it is definitely cost effective. If you don't absolutely need Prismacolors, they do work. They're good for practicing or sketching. So I would say it's definitely worth it. Overall, I would say it's definitely worth purchasing the Prismacolors. Like I said, the 24 pack is really all you need. I don't see a reason to go over that unless you absolutely need it. The Prismacolors, you will get your money's worth. You are not getting ripped off because it's way more expensive. I don't think it's that much more expensive for the quality. You know, you get what you pay for, absolutely. Overall, yes, I 100% believe my favorite art supply, the Prismacolored pencil, takes the cake here. It's worth the money. Definitely spend the, how much is it? I think it's like, okay, so I just looked it up. The 24 pack is about $17 to $18, and I'll link that too. I'll actually link all the sizes, all the different sets, but overall, Prismacolor takes it. It's worth the money. I highly recommend. If you don't absolutely need them, you don't absolutely have to spend the extra money for them. If you're just drawing and coloring recreationally, Crayola works fine. If you're an amateur artist or you just need something for sketching, Crayola works. I highly recommend Prismacolor if you are anything above just sketching and doodling for fun. But that'll do it. Thank you guys for stopping by. Appreciate it. I'll definitely be doing more videos like this in the future. If you liked it, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Bye.